Hey, Miles here, milesbeckler.com. Welcome to the 90-day challenge video training. In this video, you're going to learn exactly how to grow your audience fast without paid ads. Now, this might be the most valuable video you ever watch. It's a 90-day challenge that launched this channel you're watching here, and it's a 90-day challenge that launched my wife's business as well. And this video originated as one of my premium videos inside of my paid members area, but due to the economic situation our world has found ourselves in and the unemployment spike in my home country, I'm breaking this out for free for you to make sure you have everything you need to grow a successful business online at your fingertips, right? I need you to have all the how-to information. So this is highly valuable information. And what you're about to learn is exactly what I used on this channel that had 0 videos and 0 subscribers in August of 2016, and I grew to over 100,000 subscribers, making almost $30,000 per month in about 3 years. It's the same process we used on my wife's blog, which we started in 2009, that has since reached tens of millions of people, and it's generated millions of dollars in profit there. This is the process. I'm handing it to you. Please honor that, take action, go forth, create awesome content for your audience, do a 90-day challenge. I've seen hundreds, if not thousands of entrepreneurs literally light a fire under their businesses with this challenge. Do you have what it takes? Enjoy the show, and I look forward to hearing from you in the comments. Cheers. Welcome to the 90-day challenge marketing launchpad training. In this video, you're going to learn everything you need to know in order to successfully execute a 90-day challenge in a way that's going to get you picked up by the search engines. It's going to help you turn yourself into a content creator and help you understand exactly what it takes to create the kinds of content both your audience and the search engines will love. Ultimately, this is how you build a foundation for an extremely successful content marketing based business. It's what my wife and I have done multiple times over. That's exactly what you're learning how to do here today. And I'm finally bringing a little more structure to this 90-day challenge idea for you. First off, the goals of a 90-day challenge. Number 1 is to rewire your brain to become a content creator. Most people, before they enter this realm of the 90-day challenge, are net consumers of content. They read more blog posts than they publish, they watch more videos than they publish, and one of the big tricks to ultimately creating success online is to become a publisher. Each and every one of us, even if you're selling physical products, needs to become a production company, an actual media company, and we do this by producing content. So that's actually the big goal, is to help you really truly become a content creator to where your normal is producing content on the regular. The second goal is that it will kickstart the growth of your audience. The third thing that you're going to get is you're going to prove to the search engines that you're a publishing partner. Now, if you think about it, Google's goal as a search engine is to sell advertising. Where does Google show their advertising? It's in with the relevant search results for the billions and billions and billions of different phrases that get searched on Google every single month. What about YouTube? Well, YouTube earns revenue that pays its shareholders by displaying advertisements. Where do those advertisements show up? Well, they show up sometimes in pre-rolls of videos. So publishing more videos helps them essentially show more ads, but it also shows up in separate ads above and below videos when they're on the search results page. So it's the same situation. Both YouTube and Google need your content and my content in order to display advertisements. And this is where you have the opportunity to become a publishing partner with the search engines. Whether you run ads or not, it doesn't actually matter. They need your content because they mix in ads with content. So those are the 3 big time goals. I really think that, the idea behind number 1, you will become a totally different person on the other side of a successful 90-day challenge. It will test you. It's extremely challenging, but ultimately the person you become is the kind of person who builds successful businesses online, which is your goal, and that's my goal to help you get there. So what is the possibility? Here's a screenshot from today, literally, of my wife's website, and I went all the way back to when we started back in 2009, and you can see that literally our website, this one website, has connected with over 16 million visitors. 28 million times, right? So those 16 million people, about 80% of them came back a second time, which is why we've had literally 28 million plus visits to the website. And you can see it took years, right? I've said many times that it took us years to really, really build the momentum. We started this site with a 90-day challenge. We did another 90-day challenge in 2014, and that's really when we caught that liftoff moment. And we still publish very aggressively to this day. And that's one of the things, the 90-day challenge, it's not you do the 90 days and you're done. It's really to kickstart you into that type of person who publishes content on the regular. That's how we're creating these epic results here. And imagine real quick, if you had a pop-up offering something for free in exchange for their email address that displayed to 16 million people. How big of a list do you think you would have at that point in time? This is how we grow successful businesses through organic traffic. So first thing you need to do is figure out what is your best content creation method. You need to choose one and go all in with that one for the 90-day challenge. There's only 3 choices. It's either the written word, it's through videos, or audio, right? Those are the 3 learning methods, right? People will either watch, listen, or read to learn things. So you find the one that's easy for you. My wife prefers and enjoys writing. She went with the written word and she writes on her WordPress blog still to this day. Now she mixes in videos and she's got a podcast for sure, but ultimately to get that first real push of momentum for the first 4 or 5 years, about 90% of her efforts was focused on the written word because it was in alignment with her personality and with her DNA. Me, on the other hand, I don't really enjoy writing that much, to be perfectly honest, but for me to record a video, to turn on that camera and just go and share the information that I already know from 15 plus years of experience was pretty easy. So I went all in with videos. Other people really enjoy the process of just talking it out, interviewing other people, talking to other people. They have a knack of getting great ideas out from other people. Perfect. Audio is an awesome way to go about creating a podcast in that sense. So the key is, which method is easiest for you to communicate through? You need to find that because you want to set yourself up for success by choosing the right platform that's ultimately going to be easy for you to do over and over and over. So which would be fun and fast for you long term? That's the big question before you get started. Choose the one that's kind of most in alignment with your personality style, and then you're going to get running. Now, we need to talk about like the minimum viable technology because there is a little bit of technology required. For YouTube, you shouldn't need to spend much more than $100 to $200. The cell phone you already own should be sufficient. You will need to add on a microphone because cell phone microphones are rubbish, and good videos are really, it's all about lighting and audio to make a video feel good. The camera on your cell phone is good enough that if you get a little bit of lighting dialed and a little bit of audio dialed, it's going to go a long way. So for the microphone, I use the iRig Mic Lav. It's a little microphone that plugs into the actual cell phone, and it's a lavalier. It clips on my shirt. I use that for probably 250 or more of my first videos. It works like a champ. It's about $45 to $50. Again, iRig Mic Lav. A tripod that will be able to hold your cell phone. I actually got the little cell phone holder from a selfie stick, and I just stuck it on one of the cheapo Amazon, I think it's called Amazon Basics tripod, and a light. I use the Yumno 300. It's a square light. I've got a video that explains all of these. To be perfectly honest, back in the day, I used to just use flood lamps from the hardware store and lamps I got from the thrift store because I didn't even want to go get a fancy light. I just went and bought some cheapo $5 lamps and put some daylight white bulbs in them to get the right temperature of light. Now, if you're going to be doing podcasting, you're going to need to get at minimum a USB headset. Now, I've used, and you've probably seen in my older videos, if you've seen any of my old screen shares, I have this headset with the microphone that stuck out, and Plantronics is the brand that makes headsets for call centers. So very large call centers, Plantronics is one of the best headset kind of telephone providers. So that's why I went with Plantronics. The one I'm using is actually outdated. They don't even sell it anymore, and it's still working like a champion for me. So just go find a highly rated Plantronics headset. You should be able to find a USB headset for about $50 or less. Audacity is a recording software that is 100% free for PC. If you're on a Mac, you should have GarageBand built right in so you can record directly in there if you're just doing one person talking head type, or not talking head because there's no head, right? It's a podcast. But if you're just doing one person kind of monologue style podcasts, that's all you need. You can record directly into Audacity. If you're going to be doing interviews, you want to get Zoom.us. It's a audio video conferencing system. You do not want to use Skype. Skype kind of, it messes with the quality of the audio to try to make it really low bandwidth. But what happens is it creates static in the sound of your guest. Zoom.us is free for one-on-one conversations, and it has the highest clarity of audio that comes through. You can also do video and audio at the same time on these, which is a really good way of going about it. Libsyn, Libsyn.com is where I host my podcasts. You literally can get podcast hosting for as little as $5 per month. It's based on how much you upload. So you're going to want to learn how to compress the audios before uploading so you can maximize how much you can upload for the money you spend. And ultimately, I do think you want to have a WordPress site where you have all of your shows, all of your show notes, actually hosted on your WordPress site. The Libsyn feed, right? The RSS feed from the audio hosting at Libsyn is what plugs into the iTunes podcast directory and all of the podcast directories. But the WordPress version is what you use for your front facing when you advertise it on business cards or when you share the links from the interviews you did, etc. You want to run that on WordPress, which is basic hosting. Or if you're going to go blogging, the writing option, basic WordPress hosting should cost you approximately $5 to $10 per month for high-speed WordPress hosting, and you can start literally on the WordPress 2015 theme. So 100% free theme, and that will just get you going, because in the beginning, for the first 90 days, the goal is to flex the muscle over and over and over. You don't want to drown in the tech. You don't really need to get a fancy theme yet. You can always upgrade to Thrive themes later. If you're on a tight budget, just get the basic hosting, run with the WordPress 2015 theme. If you've got a couple of $100 and that's not a big deal to invest, you might as well get Thrive themes going right away, because that's just the theme that you're going to end up on eventually anyways. So it does make a bit of sense to just grab Thrive themes, add their Rise theme or their Focus theme, and just start from there. But all in all, the tech should not cost you any more than $200 to get you started and to get you through this 90-day challenge. So now, your audience, who are you creating content for, is the big question, and you always want to be focused on them. Too many people jump into the internet marketing world and really the content marketing space, and they're instantly like, okay, how am I going to get from the world? How do I get money from the internet? Those who succeed long-term are focused on giving to their audience. So you need to know who your audience is. You should already have your core site concept figured out. You should already know what niche you're going to go into. If you don't have those dialed yet, be sure to go watch the How to Find Your Lucrative Niche training. That's actually before this training, because you need to know who you're speaking to, what problems they have, what goals they have, so you can create the kinds of content that they're already looking for, right? You need to get into their shoes. Got to understand their mindset, where they're at in their lives, what they're searching for. When you do, then you can create the kind of content that answers their deepest questions. That is when you're hashtag winning at this game. Keyword research is really the number one skill that you're going to need to learn and master. The basics of SEO are very simple, and we'll cover them here, but keyword research is something that it just takes time. And when you go through it enough kind of opportunities to look up the different ideas and figure out what the phrases are, you'll get better and better and better at it. I'm usually in and out of my keyword tool for my new videos within a few minutes. I spend more time in because I'm optimizing a lot of old content too, but I have several videos on my YouTube channel that teach exactly how I do keyword research. You're going to need to find and commit to one tool and then just stick with that one tool. I'll talk about a few of the options I recommend here, and then ultimately it's practice. This is another part of the game, is doing that keyword research for every single podcast episode or video or blog post that you create. That's one of the things that you're practicing 90 times over, is the optimization and the keyword research, not just the content creation method. So no, you're going to get better at keyword research as well. So next up, you want to plan your content. Maybe. And I say maybe because I don't plan, and I didn't plan, right? It is okay to just jump in and start if you have deep knowledge on your niche. So when I started my 90-day challenge on the Miles Beckler YouTube challenge, I really had no clue what I was going to do beyond the fact that I knew I was going to do 90 videos in 90 days because I knew that would help me rewire my brain and it would help me turn myself into a content creator. I had the belief that I was a behind the scenes guy and it was time to destroy that belief through massive action. So I just started, and I knew in that moment that with my 15 years of making money experience through the internet, with my 10 plus years of experience doing aggressive keyword research and SEO work for my family business, as well as dozens and dozens of other kind of small businesses in Main Street USA for local clients that I used to work for, I knew I had the body of content to pull from. And I mention this because if you've been doing something professionally or even as a hobbyist for 5 years, 10 years, and you really truly know your stuff, right? You know your shit and you're on point, you can actually just start, choose any entrance point to start and just start making videos. And every time you create a new video, just run it through the keyword research tool. And that's the one trick that I had. And it's not even a trick. That's the one step, the one add-on that I had to my process that really helped me create great success long term with my channel, is because every single video I did a quick one time through a keyword research tool to make sure I'm naming the video and I'm talking about the things that people are searching. When we create content focused on what people are searching for, it gets picked up. When we create content that we just make up and no one happens to be searching that thing that you just named it, you're never going to get found. Your audience will not grow. With that said, I think that my approach to just ready, set, go and go randomly in a bunch of different directions with no planning, I think I might be an anomaly. And if you're one who likes to plan, we're going to show you exactly how to do that here. So the first thing you want to do is, you know what your site concept is, right? There's the one big idea of your website. Like, let's say it's racing drones, right? Like the little fly around drones that they actually race them. So let's say that was a site concept that I'm going for in a new site because I love drones. I'm ready to do everything. I'm building them. I'm breaking them. I'm fixing them. Cool. I'm all in on that. So the first thing you're going to want to do is draw out what are the main 3 to 8 categories that are under the site concept. So for the first person flying racing drones, if you don't know much about that world, there's the drone itself, right? The little aircraft. Then there's the remote control. I think it's called a transceiver. So that would be a second category because there's a lot of options there. There's a headset, because on the racing drones, you actually wear like what's similar to VR goggles, and you're actually seeing what the drone sees as you fly. So that's the third one. Then there's a how to fly category, right? And then there's the different types and different sizes of drones. So there's actual racing drones, there's beginner drones, there's things called tiny whoops. So right there, I've essentially created like 7 main categories. And under each of these, there's a lot of subcategories, right? So you want to also come up with 5 to 10 subtopics under each category. And it's really good if you brainstorm this out, if you've got a whiteboard that you can work with, if you can draw this out. I think there's probably a way to do this in spreadsheets, but I'm mildly allergic to spreadsheets. So I'm much more of a, like I use sketchpads. Actually, I use artist sketchpads as my notepads because there's no lines and it's very free form. Here's what I'm wanting you to get to, is essentially drawing out something similar to this, where you've got your site concept up top, and then you've got your 3 to 8 main categories. You don't want to go over 8 categories, and I really think that 6 categories is an absolute sweet spot. So for the Miles Beckler brand, for milesbeckler.com, some of my categories are email marketing, marketing funnels, pay-per-click marketing, right? All of those core ideas that have lots and lots of sub ideas. SEO is one of my main keywords. Mindset is one of my main categories, excuse me. Then you notice the little boxes below the number 1, the number 4, the number 5. Theoretically, you would have these little boxes for all of them, not just these 3. I'm just trying to show you a brief example. And each of these boxes is the actual idea for a specific topic or blog post. And eventually it'll be a keyword, right? You're going to do keyword research. But the way to think of keywords are actually representative of topics. And topics are the things that individuals search for. So you want to draw out, you start with your site concept up top, you come up with your 3 to 8 main categories, shoot for 6 if you can, and then come up with between 5 and 10 different ideas for topics under each subcategory or each category. And there at that point, you pretty much have your entire instructions, your marching orders, if you will, for your 90-day challenge. If you do just as it's shown here and you put 10 different topics under each of these 6 items, that's 60 pieces of content that you are primed and ready to do your keyword research for and to create content for. And as you're moving forward, you will easily come up with dozens upon dozens, if not hundreds, of new topic ideas. What I found is when I create a great video on a specific topic, there's usually a subtopic below that I hadn't thought of before, and mid-video for me, I'll even announce like, oh wow, if you'd like to see a video on that, leave me a comment, because I just naturally realize when I'm 3/4 of the way through explaining topic A, that topic A and B are actually related. I don't have any content on topic B yet. Okay, cool. I need to make that post next. And that's how the path appears. So this is kind of what you would end up with if you're more structured. If you want to really lay out the big plan first, you want to draw this out and keep this as a master plan. If you do draw it out, take a picture of it with your cell phone, email that picture to yourself to have a hard copy of it, and then you might want to turn it into kind of a spreadsheet focused from here. I think it's pretty easy for me or most people to see how this could easily be in a kind of a spreadsheet type focus, or you can do a basic outline is another way to do it, and then just go through one at a time, choose a topic, write about it, highlight it, put a strike through line through it, etc. So category and topic hacks. Maybe you're like, I don't know if I can come up with 6, right? I got 3, but boy, 6 seems like a stretch. And eventually you are going to need to grow to about 6 separate subtopics, or six separate categories. 3 is going to leave you limited over time unless you're in a very, very unique specific niche. So how do you find more category ideas and more topics? Well, the first thing to do is find the competing blogs in your space and reverse engineer their content. Like literally go to their websites, look at what they're doing, read their different content, look at the different categories, look at what comes up in the related posts, go through their navigation. They're trying to help your readers, right? Because they're your competition. So they probably have your readers already if you haven't been publishing, and they have. They're helping your readers solve the problems that they're searching for. So just go look how they're structuring it and let that spark ideas. Your goal is not to copy them. Your goal is to let that spark ideas. There are no new ideas in this world. There are new synthesis of ideas. And that's what you're trying to do here, is synthesize through your upbringing, your experiences, your education, your lifestyle, all of that, plus your knowledge. You're synthesizing new ideas to the world. So that's why looking at competing blogs work. Then there's 2 places you can go search. Alltop.com is a gigantic blog categorizing like a directory. So you can just go to alltop.com and go search in your niche. So if you're in the weight loss space, you can just go into the health, the fitness, the weight loss, and you can look around at what Alltop thinks are the top websites in that subcategory. So Alltop's just like this giant category. It's like an indexing, like an indexing system essentially of all of the top blogs on all of the different subjects out there. So it's the kind of modern day version of remember the library cards at the library, the Dewey Decimal System. So it's kind of a modern day version of that in many senses. So that's a great way to find content. And then buzzsumo.com. So at buzzsumo.com, they have a paid version and a free version. Generally speaking, you can get away using the free version because it gives you a few searches every day. It's one of those tools that you can just keep coming back to on a regular basis. So at BuzzSumo, you can go 2 ways. You can either, number 1, enter your competitor's blog URL or website URL, and it will show you what their most popular content is based on social shares, or you can put in a keyword phrase and see what the most popular content is based on the keyword phrase. And that's kind of it opens up a rabbit hole for you to go and find what their best performing content is, so you can then create better content than that. Finally, finding books in your niche. Amazon.com is the best place for this, and go in and review the best selling books tables of contents. So you actually go into the category for the books, you find the best-selling books on the specific topics and subtopics. So for me, I could go look at the top books on SEO, and I would look at the 10 best-selling books on SEO, and in Amazon, they have a tool that allows you to look inside, and it'll show you the table of contents. Then I can go through and look at all the table of contents from 10 different great books on SEO, and I will then know exactly what the top 10 books talk about in the world of SEO. So I now know all of the different topics I need to cover. Then then I can go do the same thing in the Facebook ads world, and I can go look at all the top books and what they're all talking about and make sure I have a piece of content on all of those topics as well. So yeah, using the finding books, that's a really powerful hack. So if you were struggling to fill out that kind of map, that mind map we did in the first image before, if you're having troubles with this here, then use these 3 hacks to get more ideas to fill that out. Then this really brings us to keyword research, and you need a keyword research tool. You don't necessarily need to pay for it. When you pay for keyword research tools, what you end up getting is generally something to analyze the difficulty of the phrase. And knowing what the difficulty of the phrase is can be helpful because it can allow you to find the low difficulty phrases to start with first, and it'll help you get traffic more quickly, which is kind of a moral victory. Eventually, you're going to write content for all of the phrases anyways, so it's not necessary, but it can be helpful. I use Keyword Finder. It's KW Finder. It's the one I teach in all my videos. It allows me to get in and out very quickly. It's a simple interface that actually displays and kind of helps me analyze lots of data from one simple screen. But it's about $50 a month at this point. So if you're just getting started, you're on a bootstrap budget, I would skip that one. Brainstorm It tool is inside of the SBI for WordPress. Now, I talked a lot about SBI for WordPress in the video on how to choose your niche. And you may already have that tool if you signed up and went through the kind of process of researching your niche based on the data. So you can use that exact same tool for keyword research, and it shows you the search volume, and also it shows you the competition numbers. So that's a really, really good tool if you already have it. If you don't have that one and you're looking for a free tool, I think the Keywords Everywhere tool is fantastic. You can just go to keywordseverywhere.com. It is a browser plugin, so you install it into your browser, and then anytime you search Google, it just overlays on the right side of Google. It overlays the search volume for that keyword phrase and for all of the relevant keyword phrases. So I could go type in racing drone headset, and it would give me all of the different phrases, and it would tell me all of the different keyword search numbers. And then also you can use Google. You can literally just use Google. Google has an autocomplete. I'm going to show you a couple of screenshots of the different ways Google gives you the relevant terms based on what you enter. So you can actually find all of the subtopics from Google that way as well. So Keywords Everywhere is free, and Google is also free, obviously. Then once you have your tool, you want to go find the category from your mind map that has the best search volume and the lowest competition. And then you're going to start there, and you're going to search out all the subtopics under that one category to find your first topics you're going to cover. Now, again, I'm speaking about this image here. So let's say you do some basic research at the category level. You go do keyword research on category 1 phrase, category 2 phrase, category 3. So for me, the drone headset, the racing drones, the mini whoops, the transceivers, transponders, remote controls, right? I would search all of those, and I would find which category phrase has the lowest competing pages and the highest search volume. Let's say that's number 4, right? Then I would commit to focus on creating content for that category first, and I would do all the keyword research on the sub ideas and the subtopics at that point, and those are the first pieces of content I would create. And I would create all 10 of those, all 10 of the sub supporting posts for category 4 first, and then I would create a great post as the category post that links down to all of those ones that I just created, essentially making a micro web of posts. So another way to look at it would be if I did an SEO kind of category, and that was one of my main categories, I would go find all of those subtopics under SEO. So we've got keyword research, we've got on-page optimization, we've got backlinks, we've got meta title, meta description, we've got keyword plugins, we've got keyword research tools, best free keyword research tools, best paid keyword research tools. So that's 8 ideas right there, all under SEO. I could probably think of a dozen more. So I would literally just start one day each creating a piece of content for that, and I would keep all of my content focused under this category 4, under my SEO content, until I really feel like I've gotten all of my ideas that are relevant to SEO out. Then I would move on to the next category. Maybe I'd move on to category 5, which is Facebook pay-per-click ads, and I would do the exact same thing. I would talk about the pixel in one blog post, retargeting, how to set up campaigns, how to set up ads, image ads, video ads, all those different topics, and I would go all the way through number 5. Now, I want to remind you, you don't have to be this organized, but if you want to maximize the value of your efforts, and if you are naturally an organized kind of person, you are going to get some benefit going through it this way. I'm a little multidimensional, so I just kind of pop in and out of the different categories I want when I want based on my feeling of the day, and that proved to work to me. So there's a lot of ways to do this, but ultimately, I think if you just focus in and go all in on one topic deep, you're going to get better results because you're going to prove relevance to your site or your channel or your podcast to that topic. Long term, you're going to kind of do this batch of work in one area. The search engines are going to be able to see your relevance in that topic sphere. And then when you move on to the next one, they'll really pick up your relevance in that next one, and then the next one, etc. So you're helping kind of prove the relevance of your content, prove your authority on a topic through lots and lots of great content focused on that one category. So now I want to talk a little bit about long tail keywords versus short tail keywords. And generally speaking, your lower category, your lower topic ideas are going to be longer tail versus the category ideas are going to be shorter tail. So an example I used in a previous video was container gardening. Now, container gardening would be a great category of topic for someone who's in the gardening space. Then all of the subtopics, and that's a short tail keyword phrase, right? It's 2 words. It's very, very short. An even shorter phrase would be gardening, right? So gardening's the main topic. Container gardening is the subtopic. Under that subtopic, there are a lot of different long tail keyword phrases, such as how to grow tomatoes in containers. That is a 6-word phrase that is super specific to a specific plant and a specific way of growing said plant. That's a long tail keyword. How to grow lemons in a pot, right? Like a mini lemon plant, if you will. That's, again, a very, very long tail keyword phrase. So it's generally going to be easier for you to rank for long tail keyword phrases compared to short tail keyword phrases, because there's going to be a lot less competition for the long tail phrases. So if you're using a keyword tool that doesn't have a difficulty score, you want to just start with the longer tail keyword phrases that still have search volume. It's got 100 searches a month. It's got 300 searches a month. Even if it's got 70 or 80 searches a month, if it's relevant to your site concept, create the content, optimize it, as you're going to learn exactly how we do here in this video, and move on to the next one on the next day. How-to topics are great to start with. I heard a statistic. I don't have the scientific backing of this. It was said in passing on a podcast of a couple of people that I trust at a mild rate of trust. They said that 50% of YouTubers are teaching themselves how to do things they've never done before. So how-to videos and even how-to blog posts are a fantastic place to start. Makes for really easy headlines. People know from the search engine results page, they're going to learn how to do that thing they were searching for. And it kind of naturally lends you towards that long tail keyword phrase. So that's a great place to start. And then ultimately, with all this research and mapping it out, you need to choose one topic you can write about and then just start, right? Find an easy, something you've done over and over, something that comes naturally to you, and you just need to create your first piece of content. And I think ultimately this is why I erred on the side of not doing a bunch of research, because I didn't want to overwhelm myself with all these ideas and I didn't want to make it big. For me, a 90-day challenge is I got to do 1 video tomorrow. And then when that one's done, I got to do 1 video tomorrow. And for me, that's digestible. Even though I don't know what those videos are until the moment I'm ready to get going, that works for my personality type. You might have the opposite, and you might want to map it all out and have your plan and lay out a full content calendar. Good for you if that's how you work. Just work this whole thing based around your personality so you can get the best kind of results with the minimal amount of effort. And ultimately, it all comes down to starting, to creating that one first piece of content. It'll feel like it's an isolated island out in the middle of an ocean, which it is, but you will build relevance around that topic, around the category that topic's within, around your whole site concept through the process of creating 90 pieces of content, right? When your website is all filled out with lots of content, it'll look better and it'll feel better because it's got all the relevance kind of flowing around in that general area of your expertise and that site concept, not to mention the category. So choose one, start, publish it, and get it going. So again, just start. Published is better than perfect. Boy, there is no such thing as getting it done perfect. If you're a perfectionist, you're going to have to force yourself to become a publicist, a publisher, someone who just flat out publishes. Do the best you can with the time you have available and publish it. If it's a written post, you can always go back and re-edit it. You can add to it. You can improve upon it later. That's really, really easy to do inside of WordPress. If it's a video, don't worry, next year's around the corner and you can make an updated version of that. Very few people are going to see your initial content. If you look at my first videos, my first week or two of videos, my number one video actually has a fair volume of views now, but that's because I've told people to go look at how bad it was regularly, right? Because I just started where I was at that moment. It wasn't polished. I stammered. I was very uncomfortable. I was awkward, but I've gotten better at the process of creating videos through doing it over and over. So I could go create a new version of that video if I want, and then I would say it's updated for 2019, because as I'm recording this, it's in November of 2018. So you can always go create those update videos. They do really well. It'll be better. You'll be more polished. You'll have more channel authority if you do that as video number 157. So don't worry about the quality of the first videos. Again, this is to help you become a publisher. This is to help you rewire your brain. It's not about the content you're putting out. It's about the process more so than anything else. And when you're publishing, optimize the content as best you can each time for your target keyword. If you spend the time doing the keyword research, we need to get you to actually optimize it, which means getting the keyword spoken out in the video, if you're doing videos, to get the actual keyword in the title and the description, both whether you're doing YouTube, podcasting, or blogging. You need to get that keyword, the actual keyword people are searching, inside of the content itself, which kind of lends us to the basics of search engine optimization. I have a very long video. It's about a 2-hour class on Learn SEO. If you just go to YouTube and you just search Learn SEO, I pop up. I think I'm the #1 video on that topic. I do recommend that, but I don't think it's necessary to get started, and it could potentially slow you down. And the goal right now is for you to just publish. So I'm going to give you the short version of that here and now. So #1, you want to get the keyword in the title, the description, in the URL, and in the beginning of the actual copy and text itself. The YOAST plugin, it's a free plugin. Do not pay for the upgrade. They try really hard to get you to upgrade. You don't need the upgrade. That's a free plugin for WordPress, and that's how I manage all of my SEO. And again, I'm on the free version. Then you want to add, if you're on a written post, you want to add images and videos to reinforce the topic idea. Then you want to make sure the keyword is in the file name, it's in the alt text, and it's in the titles of the actual image itself. And then when you're writing, you're going to write to a point on a topic, and you're like, okay, that's pretty much all I know on that topic, and it might be 700 words. There's been a lot of data that 2,000 and 3,000 word posts get a lot more traffic than 700 word posts. But you don't want to just put in filler content. It always needs to be high quality, high value, relevant content to the main idea. So you can search the phrase, the main topic in Google, and Google will give you subtopic ideas. I'm going to show you kind of how to do that here in this presentation. But again, the goal is to make sure that you're creating the most comprehensive post that you can. And sometimes going and getting Google to prompt you for some of these topic ideas, these subtopic ideas, is a way for you to take a post you thought was done at 900 words and to find a couple more sections that you hadn't included, and you're like, oh, that's a really good idea. Then you could add 300 words for each of those. Now you're getting a lot closer to that 2,000 word level. You're creating a more relevant post in the eyes of Google, and you're leveraging Google to tell you and to prompt you to what is actually relevant to that idea. The first thing I want you to do inside of the WordPress dashboard is to set your URL. So it's called the permalink structure, and we want to get your permalink structure working so that the post title is always in the URL. So as you go forward getting your keyword phrase in the post title, it will automatically optimize the URL for you. So when you're in the WordPress dashboard, you click on settings on the left side, and then you click on permalinks. When it loads up, I've actually scrolled down the gray area, the light gray areas, scrolled down a little bit. You simply tick the button next to post name. And that way it says milesbeckler.com/sample-post. And then there's a save button on this page, and you click save, and that's it. So now every time you put in a title for each and every post, your URL will automatically be optimized. Then, when you're creating the post, you need to add a title and description with the keyword for each. So what we're looking at here is this is the post editor. So above what I have here, and this is the Yoast SEO window. So above this is my actual editor window, is the space where I typed in my blog post itself. So you scroll below the editor window, and when you have Yoast installed, you see Yoast SEO is up at the very top below new. So this is in the Yoast SEO editor window that's below the standard default WordPress window. And number one, you need to click the edit snippet button. It's just going to show you the snippet preview. You won't see what number 2 has until you click the edit snippet button. When you click edit snippet, it's going to open the SEO title and the meta description, and it's also going to have the slug. Now it's probably going to pull the slug. That's the URL. That's going to probably be fine since you already set up your permalinks. You want to add an SEO friendly title. Now my keyword for this post is how to submit URL to Google. Right? That is the actual keyword phrase. So the very beginning of my SEO title is how to submit your URL to Google, step by step of the number 1 free method. So now your titles need to be both robot friendly. And when I say robot, I'm talking about Google's little robots that go read every single title and every single post you ever create. They are looking for keywords so they can understand the relevance of the post. So that's why I have my keyword phrase at the very beginning, is to prove the relevance to that search engine spider, we call them, which is the little robot. Then we need to make sure we have clickable text in there, because this SEO title is what shows up on Google search result page. And I need something in there at a title level for the human readers, the human who types in how to submit URL to Google. I want them to think, oh, this is the post for me. So what did I add? I added step by step, so they know that this post is going to take them by the hand and show them the exact steps. And then the number 1, right? Number 1 free method. So there's all kinds of, copywriting going on there. Number 1 calls attention. It's me saying, I'm number 1. This is the best. Free method. I'm reinforcing that they're not going to have to pay any money, that they're going to learn everything step by step completely for free. And then the meta description. This also displays in the Google search engine result page. And I just started with kind of the fear that that user might have. I said, worried your website is not showing up in Google, right? So I'm asking a question to the user who's looking at the Google search engine results page. Learn exactly how, and then here's my keyword phrase, learn exactly how to submit your URL to Google in this simple step-by-step post, 100% free method. Again, I'm going for 100%. I'm going for free method. I'm asking them a question that meets them at the challenge they're seeking to solve. To me, this is the best blend I could come up with in the time I wrote this, of a optimized for keyword title and description that's also optimized for the human reader, for the click. Because if you're getting more clicks on that search engine result page than your competitors, you're going to rise up in the rankings. That's one of the big ranking factors, is what is your click-through rate. So that's what you need to do. So you click number 1, edit snippet. Number 2, you enter your SEO title and your meta description. Where the 3 that's in the box, in the red box, number 3, that's just going to show you what it looks like. If you type in too much text, you'll see it goes to kind of like a ... and it actually eliminates the words. So I have the green bar below each, the SEO title and the meta description. You do want that bar to be green. You do want that to be filled up. You want to use as much text as you can without cutting yourself off, because if you go too much, it'll just put 3 dots and your user will just see the 3 dots and they won't get your exact idea, your exact kind of pitch of why they should click on your site. It's really important. Other than this, there's very little I use Yoast for. There's one other automation thing I'm going to show you later in this video that you set up once and you're done in Yoast. I ignore their readability score completely. I don't feel like it's worth my time and energy to focus on their readability. I'm mostly focused on writing the best content I can, doing this basic title description optimization, and then I'm on to the next is really one of the keys. So remember I mentioned we can use Google to kind of prompt you for more subtopic ideas. So that's what we're looking at here. And the idea is how to cut flowers, right? So what I'm wanting to, like, I'm writing a blog post, for example, on how to cut flowers. So I've written up what I thought I knew, and I got my post, and it's 1,400 words, and I'm pretty happy with my post. You know, I got a lot about cutting flowers. I talk about the different types of flowers, etc. But now I want to go run this through Google one time and see what Google thinks, and see if Google thinks there's anything that's relevant to this phrase that I have left out. So I just go to Google and I type in how to cut flowers. Now, as you're typing, Google has an autofill system that automatically fills the search bar with the most relevant and most common searches around that phrase. So what this means is most people who search how to cut flowers will add on to it either from garden, from your garden, from a plant, for a vase, for how to cut flower stems, how to cut flower stems with a knife. So what I'm noticing here and what I would analyze from my post is, number one, there's how to cut flowers from a garden, and then there's how to cut flowers for a vase. So I'm thinking if they're cutting them for a vase, that means that they bought them from a grocery store or a florist, and they now need to cut them to get them in the vase, and they're trying to make sure those flowers last as long as possible. So I need to make sure that I'm covering that on my post. But I'm also seeing this how to cut flowers from garden. And maybe I only wrote this from the standpoint of how to cut them from a florist, right, for a vase. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I could put a whole section here on how to cut them from the garden. On the rose bush, you want to cut it down to leaves that have 5 or, 2 above the node, or whatever that little hack is. You're the gardener, not me. Maybe you're not a gardener, neither am I. But that's what I'm saying is you would have the knowledge, the subject matter knowledge, the domain knowledge that would understand of like, do I have that piece in there? Do I not have that piece in there? Let me go add that to it. When I searched this phrase, how to cut flowers, right below there is a section that says people also ask. This is the lower red box. And it literally tells me what other people on Google ask relevant to this phrase. So there's how do I keep cut flowers fresh longer? Perfect. If you're teaching people how to cut the flowers, probably makes sense towards the end to have a section, a subheading, a section that says, now that you know how to cut them, here's how to keep them fresh longer so you can get the maximum enjoyment from the flowers, right? Do you have to cut flowers at an angle? That would obviously be a worthwhile subheading within the post. You don't want to make a post on that, but you want to make sure it's in your post itself. So this is really one of the key ways to let Google prompt you to make sure you actually do have a hyper relevant post with all of the subtopics covered according to Google. We want to give Google what Google wants to see. Google's showing us what Google wants to see. Then there's one other area. So this is at the very bottom of page 1 of the search engine results. And it just says searches related to how to cut flowers. And then it's got 8 different ideas here. A lot of these are going to overlap, to be perfectly honest. There's going to be a ton of overlap in this. So you're probably out of the process of looking at the, the 6 from up top, the 4 in the middle, and the 8 below. You're looking at maybe 18 to 20 ideas. There might only be 4 or 5 that are hyper relevant, or there might only be 1 or 2 that you realize can be added on. But that's all you're trying to do. You want to do one quick kind of run through on your topic, on your keyword through Google to make sure you're quality assurance testing your content, to make sure you've got all the sub ideas in that piece of content that Google thinks needs to be inside of that piece of content. Remember, Google shows us what Google wants to see. Then you want to interlink your content. You want to link your relevant YouTube videos through playlists, and also link your relevant videos to your other relevant videos through actual links in the description. And oftentimes on my YouTube channel, I find myself going back to old videos and adding links to my new videos. So when I put up a new video on something about email marketing, I will go back to my old email marketing videos and make sure those descriptions actually link to my new email marketing video. I'm creating a web of links within my own channel, and you do the same thing on the blog. You want to interlink your blog posts with in-text links that are relevant. So if you are in the kind of how to cut flowers, if you talk about how to cut rose bushes and there's a way to cut them and prune the rose bush so it brings another flower out all at the same time, and you have a post on how to prune a rose bush to get flowers and not rosebuds, you would link that section of your new post over to your other how to prune your rose bush because they're relevant, right? You wouldn't want to post that necessarily over to the how to wash your car post if you have a post on that, because there's absolutely no relevance between washing your car and ultimately how to cut flowers, right? Like, relevance must lead the way and relevance must guide you in this part of the game. And then on podcasts, it's a little bit different because there's not much on the show notes side. There's a little bit of linking you can do on your WordPress side or on the show notes, but ultimately, if you're in a conversation with someone and that conversation starts talking about another topic that you have a relevant podcast episode on, call out that podcast episode number. Be like, wow, you can actually learn a lot more about this in episode 26 where I spoke with so-and-so about such and such. And that is for the podcast listener who's there. If they hear that, they might very well go to their phone because they got their phone in their hand or in their pocket, right? Like, they're listening to you on their phone. They might go download that next episode so they can follow that trail of relevance down through your podcast itself. Again, make sure you publish. The goal is not to make perfect content. The goal is to publish. You have several different learning curves going on at once. It's okay to be confused as you're moving forward. You are moving forward into the unknown. There's no way around that. So just be sure you're moving forward. And again, search your phrases in Google for subtopic ideas to lengthen them. You want to aim to publish the most comprehensive posts that cover all the subtopics that you can, and rely on Google. Google will tell you what Google wants to see. Next, we want to make sure your site's getting indexed by Google. To do this, we need to generate an XML sitemap with Yoast. You need to verify your site with the google.com/webmasters system. It's called the Search Console. And then you need to submit your sitemap to google.com/webmasters. You do this once, and then every time you publish a new post on your site, it's going to notify Google's search engine spiders. They're little robots. It's going to say, hey, you just posted a new post, come check it out, and their spiders will come back to your site and actually index that post 100% automated to make sure they're reading and learning all the relevant content that you're putting up. They're seeing how often, how frequently you're publishing. That's how you build a good relationship, proving to Google that you are a publisher. So here's how you set up your sitemap with Yoast. Now, we've installed the Yoast plugin, and at this point, you're inside of the WordPress dashboard. On the left column towards the bottom, you'll see that there is a SEO tab with the little Y character. You click on that, and below it has a general. We're on the general page. That's what's in the light gray area. It's the general Yoast SEO settings. Then you got the number 2. There's a features tab up top. Click on the features tab, and it'll open this window. Now, if you don't see these little buttons, there's an advanced link that you have to click once to unlock the advanced features. You do not need to pay. You do not need to pay to upgrade in order to access this. It's around, they keep moving things. So every time I show this, they seem to make an update, but generally it's under features, under advanced. When you click on it, it'll open up. Number 3, you want to make sure that the XML sitemaps are turned on. That's it. It's really simple. Once you set this up, it's going to automatically create, automatically populate, automatically update your sitemap for you. So you set this up once and then you're done. Then we verify your site with Google. So you go to google.com/webmasters, and you can see the green button that I've circled says Search Console. You click on that and you go through the process of verifying your site. I had already done that, so I can't show you exactly how to do it. It's super simple. They teach you how. They have lots of tutorials on how to do this. You just need to verify that you are the owner of your website, essentially. Once that's done, this is what it looks like inside of Google Search Console. Number 1, it says Sitemaps on the left column. You click on that, and then it opens up the page that we're looking at where number 2 is. And you see how it says Add a new sitemap? Well, Yoast creates a sitemap at your URL /sitemap.xml. You can see mine's already submitted below where it says submitted. So you type in sitemap.xml there. It generally has a verify button that'll show up so you can verify it before submitting, and you verify it and it says, yep, this is indeed a formatted sitemap the right way. Then you enter it again, you click submit, and it links it. You do this once and you never think about this again because it's all done automatically. So every time my team publishes a new blog post for me, or every time I go in and publish a blog post, it automatically notifies Google that milesbeckler.com has a new blog post. Google sends its robots over to read it, to analyze it, to index it, to learn what it's about, to see what it links to, and really they just crawl my whole site and all my links from there. then you just publish, publish, publish. Like the 90-day challenge, the goal is to get you to do a post a day every day or a video a day every day for 90 days. That's a hell of a feat. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. It is a soul-sucking adventure. I highly recommend inside of the content and conversion members area, there's a post from Mick Meaney, the weird trippy world of the 90-day challenge. He wrote up his kind of emotional experience going through the 90-day challenge, and it really will push you as an individual. We have other members like Tiger, for example, who's he's a golf instructor, he's a golf coach, he's one of Ireland's best of the best. This dude works so hard already. He's been doing 50, 60, 70-hour weeks before he started the internet marketing game, and now he's adding this on. So his personal commitment is to do 2 blog posts per week for 90 weeks. That's about a 2-year challenge he's taking on, and the goal again is to really get the volume done at the most rapid pace you possibly can. Now he's doing like 70, 80-hour weeks, and he's going even faster full on, but he's doing that little thing through content marketing every day that in 2 years, it literally will transform his business. He will have more exposure, he'll have more attention, he'll have more opportunities, he'll have a bigger list. There's so many things that happen from this. So I mentioned those 2 extremes, right? There's the 90 and 90. I did 120 videos in 120 consecutive days. I know people who are still doing 1 video per day. Aaron Dowdy, who's in here, he's got in the membership, he's got 380,000 subscribers. He still does a video a day every single day on YouTube. You find what works for you, make it aggressive, make it scare you a little bit, really get out of your comfort zone to go a little bit, err on the side of publishing more than you think you can. Find the goal that fits to you and commit to it. It's about who you become more than traffic numbers, follower numbers, subscriber numbers. It really is about turning you into a content creator. Then you can go into your marathon runner's pace at the end. The speed of your website really matters. So you want to avoid adding unnecessary plugins. One of the cool things about WordPress is you can add different plugins that do all kinds of things, but every time you add a plugin, it slows down your site a little bit. So don't add plugins unless you have to. Really just publish, publish, publish. Yoast and go. Compress the images before uploading them. You want to have images, as we talked about. You want to have the alt text and the titles to be named for the keywords, but be sure you're compressing them. Be sure you're making them small. You can use a tool like compressedjpeg.com if you're using JPEG images. If you're Photoshop friendly, there's like a save for web option that'll allow you to compress the image size to make them load really quickly. On site speed, there's some advanced options that are paid. It's called CDN and caching. It's a content delivery network, and a caching plugin kind of preloads your content in a way. I don't think you need that before your 90-day challenge. I have a specific video on that. You can search my YouTube channel for CDN and caching. I'll link below the video, or if the link's not there and you see that, let me know the link's not there. But that's for advanced people. I don't think you need that, but if you're feeling like your website's slow, those are the options for speeding it up. And if you added a bunch of plugins and you need to speed it up, you would use the CDN and the caching. So getting support during your process. Start your own thread in the 90-day challenge section of CNC. You can get help. You can ask me. You can @mention me to get help. The other members will be able to pop in and see what you're doing and offer you guidance. There's a lot of power in the community. You're also going to realize you're not alone in that area, because there's a lot of people doing 90-day challenges, and everyone's going through the same stuff, because it's a mental challenge for sure. Highly recommend you listen or read The War of Art by Steven Pressfield. If you've already read that one, Turning Pro is probably the next best book of his. It's also by Steven Pressfield. It's a great mindset book. So if you commute to an office day in and day out, listen to that book during this process. It will help you so much. Dave Wooding, who's a member, and Dave's essentially kind of leasing out access to his team for a flat monthly fee. They will do all of the WordPress publishing for you if you don't want to do any WordPress publishing. If you simply want to type out a Word document and send that over to a team and let his team in the Philippines do all of the actual layout and the publishing and the design, so you can go right back to writing your next blog post, wppublishpro.com. It's a great solution we put together. It's an extremely valuable solution. I had a guy I was paying like $1,200 a month to do this work. Dave's got the price down for CNC members for under $100 a month for unlimited blog post publishing gigs. So really, really interesting. If you've got a little extra money and you don't have that much extra time, that's one of the hacks that you can use to focus more of your time on the content creation side of things. You know you're a content creator when publishing the best you've got content is your new normal. And you're excited about it. You wake up and you're like, I'm gonna get my content done today. Cool. What am I giving my audience today? So when you're constantly thinking up new ideas about what your audience wants, these will happen in the shower, on walks, on your commute, the most random times. I keep an Evernote notepad on my phone, and I have a video ideas notepad in Evernote. So if and when I have an idea, I'm standing in line at a grocery store and I look over at a magazine and I see a magazine headline that inspires this idea of like, oh, I could make a video on that. Like, boom, I'll pull out my phone, I'll put a little note in for myself in that, so it'll be there in Evernote when I get back to it. Any notepad works, obviously. You know you're a content creator when the process of creating becomes easy, and I would even say it becomes fun and easy. And at this point, you've really completed phase one, which is powerful. Now, I've got a few more slides that I want to go through. I know we've been together for about an hour. I'm going to go quickly through the next slides because I want to show you that there is phase 2 and 3 to this. We're not going to be doing super deep dives. I have a lot of other resources for you, but we're going big picture at this point, right? So, and right before that, I want to show you that great content attracts backlinks and it attracts other people's audiences. So this is a website I just found. I don't know who this is, but they, in the light green, which is a difficult font to read, it says Miles Beckler provides a fantastic resource for getting started with WordPress, which my name and WordPress are both hyperlinked, with 8 tutorial videos that walk you through the whole process. Now that is linking to my DIY sales funnel video series on my website. So this is proof that if you put out great content and great series of content, again, this is like a whole category with 8 separate things that are under it, right? It's a huge it took me months and months to make this content. Like, talk about the best I could put out. That's what this is. It was such good content that this blogger who obviously knows me, they probably found my videos, decided it was easier just to link to me to share my free resource than it was to try to go recreate that on their own. And that's what happens when you put out great content. Took me almost a year of publishing content to get to the point where I was ready to put together this big impacting course. So just know that great content attracts links. The power of this is not only is Google going to pick up on the fact that this third-party site linked back to me, giving my site more authority, but their audience, their readers are going to come to me as well. So I can get both search engine juice, search engine kind of SEO mojo from this, but I can also get access to their audience from this, which is super powerful here. Okay, phase 2 is to grow your email list. You really need to have your content production machine going. You don't stop publishing new content when you get in the list building phase. It took me 6 months of doing nothing but videos to even get to the point where I put out my first opt-in. And remember, I'd been doing internet marketing professionally for 10 years. It took me 6 months, over 100 and I think it was 150 or 200 videos before I ever put up my first opt-in page. So when I say phase 2, and you really have to have phase 1 dialed, I was so challenged by the daily videos because it was all the energy I could muster, along with keeping my wife's business running, because that's my day job, right? Like, it was all I could muster was to get out that one video a day that I just stuck with that for 6 months. Then I started growing the list. To build a list, you need a lead magnet. You need to give your audience a deeper experience with your teaching, and you want to help give them a result. Some great ideas are a video training series, a 7-step or a 7-day system that they can plug into, an ebook, give them an ebook, a cheat sheet of some sort that will help them get a desired result. So for me in the Facebook marketing world, I could put together like the Facebook advertising cheat sheet, the 13 things you have to do for every ad set, right? Or for every Facebook ads campaign. That would be 1 page for me to put together. It's only 13 sentences essentially, right? And it would be valuable enough for them to opt in for. Could be an audio download. It could be a webinar. You could host a free webinar, and at first you could just put up a webinar registration page for the free thing, and then once you record it, people could opt in and get the recording of the webinar for free. So it's something that's relatively easy for you to produce. Again, you want to try to give them a result. You want to give them an experience. The necessary tools for that, this is where you need to have WordPress and Thrive themes. Thrive Themes has an architect plugin that allows you to build the actual landing page. It allows you to connect your email autoresponder to your WordPress site. Search for my DIY sales funnel video, video 1 and 1.5. They updated the plugin that was used in video 1, so I made an update to show in the newest plugin. It's the same stuff. They just kind of moved a few things around. So I did an update in video 1.5. So you build a very, very simple opt-in page, and then you keep on with your content marketing. Once they're on your list, you want to create an automated follow-up series. You want to also create a broadcast segment. I have videos that explain all of this. I might create a separate thread. I'm not exactly sure. I mean, they're all on my YouTube channel already, so you can easily go to youtube.com/MilesB and find them. If you're at one of these steps, you can mention me below this video in the thread and ask for a specific video if you don't see it. You must be ready. When you move into the email marketing world, you need to be ready to start sending several emails per week to your list. So you need to have enough energy. You need to have enough breathing room. You need to have enough time to be ready to do that next level of work in sending out the emails. Because the worst case scenario is growing a list and then not reaching out to them. Because there's no money in the list itself. The money is actually in the relationship you have with the list, and you grow that relationship through giving more great content. Phase 3 is syndication. Syndication means you're taking the content you're creating and you're getting it out onto other platforms. So for me, I start with a YouTube video. My syndication is to get that video on a podcast feed and onto my blog in written format. That's the 3-pillar content marketing strategy. If you're doing the written word first, then your syndication would be to get it onto YouTube and then to get it onto a podcast. So you start recording yourself talking about the ideas. You could put just an image up on it and make that a slideshow style video for YouTube. You could record yourself talking about it in video format and take the audio and put it onto the podcast. Eventually, you want to get systems and teams and everything in place to go to all 3. For me, it took 2 years, year and a half, not 2 years, about a year and a half to get literally all of my syndication going. It was, I started in August of 2016 with my videos, and it really wasn't until about New Year's 2018 that I had my 3-pillar strategy actually working. So this is long-term, big picture stuff, but I want you to see the vision for that. There are additional syndication opportunities. Some people take their 90-day challenge content, if it's really well organized based on that graphic I showed at the beginning, you can actually build a book out of it to where each of those categories is the chapters and each subtopic is the subchapter, right? Like there's a way to turn this content, the exact same content that you publish on your blog, into a Kindle book, and then Amazon customers can find it on Kindle. You can do collaborations. You can collab with other creators. You can do guest posts for them. You can do video interviews with them or for them, and you can do podcast interviews. I love doing podcast interviews where I'm a guest on other people's podcasts because it gives me access to their audience. It's a way for me to introduce myself to other people's audiences, which just grows my reach. Also, you can do Quora. You can go into the question and answer side of Quora. You can do Twitter. You can kind of promote things on Twitter. You can promote in Facebook groups. You can promote in LinkedIn groups. You can do blog commenting, etc. Just if you do any of that, be sure to be helpful. Don't shamelessly promote your stuff. That's going to backfire. You always want to be helpful, give value first. I have an entire training coming out that's probably my most comprehensive training. It's going to be out. Hopefully by the time you watch this, it's out. But if you're watching this like day 1 or 2 that this was launched, it'll be out probably within a week. And it is the kind of ultimate organic search marketing traffic domination system. It's going to be a behemoth, and I'm super excited about that. And when you finish all 3 of these phases, you have a search engine marketing machine that is up and running, you have a lead generation system, and you have content that can be leveraged for social marketing for years to come. And as I showed you in that first chart with my wife's content, You will be amazed at the long-term potential of doing the organic content marketing. And again, that 90-day challenge is designed to help you become a content creator. That's the big thing. That's the big shift for you, because once you habituate the process of giving value to your audience through content, and that becomes your new normal, and you do that day in, day out, week in, week out, month in, month out, you will be amazed at the long-term results of that when you stick with it for a few years. And that's the ultimate place I want to get you to. So last notes, the content machine must keep running. There's never a point when you get to phase 2 or phase 3 that you stop putting out new content. My wife's website, she's literally working on a piece of content right now. It's Sunday morning at like 11 a.m. and she's working on more content for her list, her platform, her readers, and she's been doing this nonstop since 2009, right? So she's 9 years in and still putting out content. You must continue to email your list. If you go dark on the emails and you don't email them for a month and then you start sending them stuff, they're going to forget who you are. They're going to click unsubscribe. They're going to hit report spam. You got to email your list, friendly stuff, happy stuff, helpful stuff, give value. We still focus every single day on putting out more content. And the number one question that can help you in a massive way is just keep asking yourself, how can I be of service to my audience today? Your mind will come up with ideas. Your mind will synthesize ideas. You'll come up with new ideas for new pieces of content. You'll come up with ideas for emails. You'll come up with ideas for courses, for coaching programs. You'll be amazed at what you're able to come up with when you keep asking yourself this question: how can I be of service to my audience today? It was me asking myself that question that got me to create this training for you. It was me asking myself that question that got me to create the traffic training that comes right after this one for you. So keep asking yourself this question. You'll be amazed at what pops in your head. Follow those little intuitive nudges. Follow those ideas. You'll be surprised at what you can create. Thank you very much for making it through this video, for this training. I hope you found this to be helpful. If you have any questions, you can comment on it below. If you're going to jump in, you're going to throw your hat over the fence, you're going to start your 90-day challenge, start yourself a 90-day challenge thread inside of that category in the content and conversion forums, so we can kind of keep an eye on what you're doing, and you can ask me questions in your personal thread. If you have a question, day 17 on the process, you want to ask me something, that's a great place to do it, because I can look back through what you've been doing in your personal thread, and it will help me help you more effectively. On that note, I'm going to cut it here. Thank you again very much for your time. I look forward to connecting with you on the next training. I look forward to connecting with you inside of the forums, and I look forward to helping you build the business of your dreams. This has worked for Melanie and I multiple times over. It's worked for dozens, if not hundreds or thousands of students that I've connected with through YouTube and through conferences, etc. This is tried and true. It takes a lot of effort. You will become a more valuable person by going through the process, and you will be amazed at what you create. I guarantee it. And on that note, I'm going to call it. So until we connect again, be well.